Good morning, everybody. Huge apologies that I am ever so slightly late. It's just after 8:30 and I am attempting to get my iPad to stay upright. I thought I could do it sideways on. So I am going to be giving you the foresight this morning and I'm just bringing up the script, so just give me 2 seconds while I try and sort this all out. I did have it up on my phone already and it's disappeared because obviously Dropbox hates me. But if you are there watching me live, then please do give me a shout out. And I can't actually see anyone at all. I don't know if that's because no one's actually watching, which I'm sure they're not, because I've already seen messages saying, why is it not live? Why is nobody speaking? But here I am. So 2 seconds, it's loading up now. Okay, so good morning. I'm Samantha Brown from Selling Premier Property. Yay, I've got some likes. Selling Premier Property, and thank you for joining me on 4N Live this morning. So you've already had a little intro from me. Hi Hayley, hi Andrew, hi Mark. Give me a like, a love, an angry face for being late. Just give me whatever you want within reason, and I shall get started. So we're going to start the 40 seconds round. As some of you know, this is like the actual meetings, but it's also with a slight twist. So we'll do the 40 seconds round. If you want to put a comment at the bottom, that's down there, and tell us about your business and tell us about you. You've got 40 characters to do so. So do that while I'm speaking, and then I can read some of them out, and then you can get a massive shout out on 4N TV Live. And obviously this is up on the group forever, so I will forever be here. Oh, you lucky things. So please just give us a little, right down here, give us a little 40 seconds, 40 characters about you. Dean, you can do this. I know what you do. Renee, I know you should be putting in what you do. So everybody write down the bottom and tell us what it is that you do as a business, and then everybody else can see it forever. So my 40 seconds, I'm Samantha Brown of Selling Premier Property. I find property for people. So if somebody is looking for an investment property for the first time, and almost always for the first time, I help them find that property. So we go through what it is they're trying to achieve, and then we go and look for the right property, and I help them the whole way so that they can buy with absolute confidence that they're not spending 30, 40, 50, 60,000 pounds of their pension, of their life savings on the wrong thing. So that's my 40 seconds. Absolutely nobody is writing down what they do. Come on, people. You're all in marketing. We're all in the 4N group. Nobody's shy. Tell me what it is you do, and then I can read it out. And if you don't, then you're just going to hear me. So, after the 40 seconds round, we are now next to... Oh, this is difficult. It was easier when I was reading it in my head upstairs. So, I'm going to put it here so that you can see me while I'm talking. Right, so now it's time for my foresight slot, which is, just as in 4N networking meetings, isn't a sales pitch. It's an insight into a specialist field, experience, or interesting area of my life. Oh, excellent, amazing. So now we've got some foresights coming in. We've got Michael Nagels. He does some stuff for 4N. Nobody really knows what he does. Renee is the marketing person, and he is coming down to some of my groups down in Chichester, or Clanfield, I think, soon. Anybody else? No. Okay, fine. We're going on. So, yes. My foresight slot is titled Beginner Property Investing Secrets. Though I can't see you today, it would be great to know that you're watching, so please send me some comments through. Oh, somebody creates magazines, that's interesting. Callum creates magazines for hospital radio stations, or a hospital radio station. That sounds interesting and really nice. Okay, so blah, 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 blah. It would be great to know you're watching, so please keep liking me. Please keep liking me. We all know that I love these likes. And send me comments throughout and keep hitting the like emoji, just the like one, or the love one. You can send me angry faces too, they make me laugh. Blah, 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 blah. And emoji buttons whenever you feel like it. So add in, oh no, I'm not supposed to read that bit. So as usual, there are... There you go. There's the normal stuff. People that read the script know this. There's the normal stuff that tell you what to do and what not to do, and big shouty angry capitals that I'm not supposed to read out. So yes, I guess it's now time for my foresight. How exciting. Normally I'd be standing up for this, and I'm finding it a bit weird that I'm sat down. I know lots of people do these things sat down. I have a sales background, so I have been taught that you stand up, you stand big when you're on the phone, you walk around so that your brain is flowing. And sitting down is kind of weird, and talking to nobody is really, really weird. But it's great. So, brilliant. This is really good. So someone's just asked a question about property, and losing you. That's exactly what I'd like you to do. So if you have any questions about property, any kind of property really, whether you've got an HMO, whether you've got students, whether you are looking to buy your first property, then please send me your questions in the comments below, and I will do my absolute best to look through and to read them out and answer them as best I can. And if I can't answer them right now, which I might not be able to, then I will promise that I will come back and answer them later. And obviously you've got this forever. So, getting started in property. I'll give you a little bit of background about me so you know that I know what I'm talking about. I come from a family of letting agents. Very exciting. My parents have had a letting agency since 1990. So we've been through 2 property crashes. Which is really interesting actually, because it means that I've been in the good stuff and also in the bad stuff. And the amazing thing about rentals is that they just keep bringing in money even when it's bad, because we all have to have somewhere to live. So, oh God, I've lost the videos, the comments, oops. Oh, yeah, so, rentals is a really like counter-cyclical, well, I don't know if it's called counter-cyclical, I guess, maybe, but it works in all times. So when property prices are high to buy, people then have to go and rent, and when property prices are low, not everyone can still get credit, so people still have to rent. So it's a very, very stable thing to do if you're looking for a different source of income beyond what you do as a business, but you want something that's stable. It's so stable that the banks lend on it, which has got to say something. So my parents' property letting agency, we manage 650 properties. It's quite a few, all around Portsmouth. Predominantly, there are some weird outliers. We've got something like Peacehaven, Bristol, randomly, Exeter, I think is as far as it goes that way, but mostly Portsmouth, Fareham, Havant, Waterlooville, Gosport. Gosport's all right, it's a really good rental area actually, and some other places in between. So that's what I've been doing. I've been running the letting agency. I then had a baby in 2015, so I took some time out. He's called Caspian. You may have seen him or heard me talk about him because he is my absolute everything, and he's my why of why I'm doing this. So I took some time out to have Caspian, to be a mum, and then I came back into 4N, and the lovely, lovely people of Portsmouth got to have me as their area leader. I am doing something slightly different now, so rather than managing the properties explicitly, I am helping people find their properties to buy in the first place, because people used to come to us and say, I've got this property, I want these kind of tenants, can you sort it out for me? And you go, oh, you've got what is essentially a student house next to the university, but you want professionals. You're probably not going to live there. So I would rather help people find their first property in the right way and get the right property, and then they can rent it to the people that they want to be renting it to, rather than just anybody that comes along. So we've got some comments. Hayley's put 650. Yeah, I always say it's quite small because there are, I don't know, 13 staff, 5 offices, and that's what I've grown up with. So I just think it's kind of like a small, cute little family, and when we kind of like do stuff. But yeah, it's quite a lot of properties. Obviously, they're not all mine yet. So that is answers to Hayley's question. Renee's hearted Hayley. What's Hayley said? Oh, Hayley said go see Renee. Of course he loves that. In Dixon's given us wave. In Dixon is from Portsmouth. Well, actually, I don't know if he is from Portsmouth, but he's lived in Portsmouth for a very, very long time. He used to be group leader at Port Solent, one of the groups that I look after, and he's obviously very, very busy looking after Brad and some other small people. Yeah, so he's not around so much anymore, but he is still here. Let's see, anyone else got anything really interesting to say? Fines by PayPal. Oh, if you go over your 40, yes, if you go over your 40 words. I've probably been fined, like, I'm going to have to donate some money. You may have seen actually recently that I put up that I'm loving donating money, and I've taken a pledge to donate 5% of my income, that's my gross income, to charity. So if you have a charity that you want some donations to, put them down here, down in the comments box, and I will donate like £10 or something to your charities, because it's actually quite hard to give away your money when you're like committing to do so much. Those people with actual true wealth probably find this too. So yes, invest in things. I'll ask that in a minute. Ding, very, very good. 40 seconds. Oh, do you like my beautiful Tiffany lamp? I live in a rented property. It's horrible. No, it's not. It's actually really nice. In a really pretty area, because Caspian and I had to move, and so we got a property that's right by a beautiful creek, and this is where I am for the moment, and I'm looking for my big beautiful home to buy for me. Yes, so I'm completely lost as to what I was talking about, the rental investment stuff, and then I had a baby, and then I came back to help people find properties, so that's what I do. So next thing, I have no idea where even the time is. If you are going to get started in property, my advice is to look at how much money you've got right now that you could spend, and kind of ignore it. You can always find more. So a good source of places to get a bit more money from, if you've got none, or you've got only, say you've only got £10,000 and you know that you need £40,000 because in your area the kind of properties you want to buy are £160,000, so you need 25% as a deposit to go to the bank and say, please lend me some more, and they say, yep, that's fine, you've got the deposit, here, have some more. So you've only got £10,000. You need to, I would say, speak to your friends, your family, tell them what you're doing, tell them why it's a good idea, the kinds of returns that you could be getting. Most people are getting something like 0.1%, if even that, in the bank at the moment. So if you were to go to them and say, I can give you a greater return than that, I can give you something like 5%, then most people honestly will bite your hand off. So there are always ways of getting other money to help you get started on your journey, and you can either just borrow it straight up from them, or you could, especially with your friends and family, they tend to be quite open to doing that because obviously they want to help you, or you could actually start buying properties with people, and this is something that I have done. So using somebody else's money and then getting buy a property, you can do clever things to the property, which I'll talk about in a minute, and take the money back out and then go buy another property, and property number one belongs to the person with the original deposit, and then the next property belongs to the other person, i.e. me, or somebody else. So you can do this with people, but I would just make sure that you have an understanding of them as a person, find out their values, make sure that you're in line, that they're not just gunning for money, unless you're just gunning for money. Just be careful. It's like any business transaction, just be careful who you get into bed with. So you now have some money and you're looking for a property, and I would really strongly suggest that you find a property that is near where you live. So if you're, it doesn't really matter where you are, not everything works everywhere, but pretty much everything works everywhere. So if, say, I live down in Portsmouth, I tend to stick within a probably 10-mile radius of where I am, but that's because I've been working in the industry for lots of years, probably since I was 5, I've been listening to it all. So if you're, say, in Birmingham, then I would stick within probably like a 5-mile radius of where you are, maybe even a 3, because it's so densely populated. Then you really get to know the properties that are around you. You know how much they should be selling for, so therefore you know how much you can buy for. You know the types of tenants that are going to rent them. You should then be able to get to know how quickly those properties are going to rent, which is a really key thing that people don't think about. So obviously you want tenanted properties. That's the end game, because that makes you money. So make sure that your properties are going to rent to tenants when you've got them, and it's not going to stand empty for ages. I'll give you an example of this. Somebody was talking on a different group. Different groups are available. I don't know if you can hear me when I whisper. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Tell me if you can hear me. Probably not. I'll talk louder. So there are other groups available other than 4N. Who knew? So there's another group. Somebody was saying that they... hold on, I better check the script because I've just realised it's 10:02. No, we're good. Okay, we've got 6 more minutes. Yay! So they were talking about the fact that they had found a house that was a 4-bedroom for the same price as a 3-bedroom house. And I said, okay, that's brilliant, but is a 4-bedroom going to rent as quickly as a 3-bedroom would, and will the people stay in there for very long? And my experience generally is that 4-beds don't rent so quickly because there aren't so many larger families that can afford that are looking to rent. They normally tend to buy, unless they've just moved into an area and then they don't stay very long. And every single time you have people moving in and out of your property, it's costing you money. You've got extra wear and tear on the property, but you've also got an empty property for a bit, and that is killing your profit. So my advice is to buy smaller properties. The problem is if you go too small, for example studio flats, again they're transitional properties, so people tend to move really quickly. Again, you get guys who are getting divorced or have separated for a bit or have just moved to an area and are looking for somewhere to live. Or people that then go into shared houses when they find out the kind of vibe of the area and work out where they want to live in an HMO. So studio properties probably aren't my suggestion to you. I actually have a couple, but that's because I don't have to pay fees every time somebody moves in and out. It's not such a massive drain on my resource. But I wouldn't suggest that to other people, especially if you're getting started. 1-bedrooms are okay, but not as much as in demand around my area. I know there are people with tons of 1-bedroom properties. If you've got a little 1-bedroom house, they do rent really quickly because they're really rare, and people that are on their own or they're just a couple and always want to be a couple, then they'll stay there. But as soon as that couple have a baby, they're moving. If you have a 2-bedroom house, they'll stay. So you tend to get tenants with a longer lifespan, and that's really what you're after. I've got tenants that have been in properties, honestly, for 22 years and counting. So if you can find those tenants, they are worth so much. Don't ever put their rent up loads because they'll want to leave, and then you'll be empty property again, which is eating into profit. Ugh, I can't speak. So yes, divorce is a shock to the bank balance. I haven't even got divorced. I just separated, and yeah, that's not great. So, old versus new. Really good question, Michelle. I would say old, not too old. Brand new properties, you are paying a premium to pay the developer, which is, everyone's got to make money, but you don't want to be the person paying their profit. So go for a slightly older property. I really like 1960s, 1970s houses. Big rooms, you can do quite a lot with them. Really like newer but not brand new properties tend to have smaller rooms. If you get into Victorian houses, things tend to start going wrong, but they are pretty and they've got nice features like fireplaces, so can rent really well. Depends on where you are. I would look for terraces. Most people don't mind living in a terrace, but you know that the value that you're paying is the right value because you can see so many comparables when you're in a terrace. So the real kind of, I guess, key thing is to make sure you find a property that's going to rent really quickly and rent easily every single time, but also that you know that you're paying the right price when you're buying it, rather than taking a punt and sticking your finger in the air and just paying anything or whatever the letting agency or estate agency tell you to pay. So let's see if there are any more questions. So I've been telling you to buy 2-bedroom houses or 3 bedrooms. 3 beds are good as well. They're a bit more, obviously. They're bigger, so they cost a bit more. But people do tend to stay in those a really long time. Probably the longest. The reason I tend to go for 2-bedroom terraces rather than like a 3-bed, A, is because it's a terrace, so there are more of them. But also the cost. Because a 3-bed costs more, your actual return on your rent isn't as great. So two or 3-bed, not much difference, but I tend to suggest going for a 2-bed, but entirely up to you. And also, if you ever find anything and you want have questions, just ask me. I love looking at properties. I'm a bit sad. Hello, information regarding offering investments. I'm not offering any investments, Steve. So yes, I'm not offering anyone to come and invest with me, so I don't actually have to abide by any rules and regulations. And there are rules. If you actually ask someone to invest in something, then there are FCA regulations around whether they're a high net worth investor or something else, and I can't remember. But you're asking your mum to lend you some money. It's a bit different. How do you build up your list of trusted contacts? I guess same as anything, talk to them, get to know them, ask them questions about what their values are. Rob Moore does a really good video on this, actually, who's a property millionaire. But I will find that and pass it on to you. I haven't got very long left. I've got 2 minutes. Okay, so I'm giving myself 2 minute warning. So I've told you about the kind of property. Keep close to where you are. Make sure it's going to be tenanted really easily. I guess the last thing as well is to work out how you're going to, if you can, take some money out. So if you buy a property that needs some work doing to it, so say you bought your 1960s house and a little old lady's been living there and she's got her nice Barrow carpets and has never done anything and her kitchen's still the original kitchen, you can add some value. So you can put a new kitchen in, a new bathroom, carpets, redecorate it. Not really going to cost you very much money, £5,000 to £10,000. Obviously get quotes and things like that and make sure you're not paying over the odds. But you can then increase the value probably by, well, it depends on where the country where you are, but if you're down here, increase the value by like 30 grand, and then you can take your deposit back out and go buy another one. And that's the real beauty of property, is that you have one and then you can have many, and each time you're building up your cash flow and your income. So yes, importance of a full structural survey when buying a property. I've never had one. I'm not going to buy anything that's got structural damage to it. If there are cracks in the wall, if they're big, like bigger than your finger, I'm not going to go and buy it. I'll leave that to people that just buy those properties. Some houses can have roofs needing replacing and stuff, but you can tell, you can look. There are check sheets. I'm creating a check sheet at the moment of how to, things to look out for. So I'd advise, like, ignore all those, but really just keep on looking at properties. You'll get to know what's a good property, what's a sound looking property. Of course, sometimes shit happens, but you'll get to know it as you keep walking around. Yes, working with an insurance broker. Have trusted advisors, have a good mortgage broker, have a good accountant, buy in a limited company because there's extra tax implications. There's just not enough time to tell you everything. What I will do is I will I'll send you guys the spreadsheet. If you ask, you have to ask for it, but I'll send you a spreadsheet of the checklist of what to look for, and I will create a little document of the kinds of trusted people that you need on board, and find ones local to you, because then you can go and talk to them and it's easier. So anyway, I'm getting close to my time. Woo, I'm running over, and at 4N Accelerate, which is for all the area leaders recently, Brad told us we must keep time. And that's fair, because you know what? You guys have got stuff to do. So, oh my God, the script has gone again. Don't say it's a great foresight, it's terrible. Oh, it's so much fun though. This is really, really bizarre talking to a camera. Okay, so that is it. My time is just about up. I will answer all of your questions later. Okay, so message me. Actually, you can ask here, but send me a message, and I will find a way to get back to everyone. I'm getting a new PA soon, so I will reply to everybody over the weekend. It's my first baby-free weekend. I'm a little bit in 2 years, so I'm quite excited. Thank you for watching my foresight. It's great to see all of the comments coming in. It is actually, it's really fun. It's a bit of voyeuristic, but really fun. I've not had a chance to look at these properly yet. You know that's true. But I will reply on the page to any questions that have been raised. Oh look, I'm ahead of the game. So 4N TV Live is back here at the same time next week, 8:30 on Saturday, the something. What day is it today? The 15th. So Saturday the 22nd. When you can join, hold on, I do know this one. I've been told this one. Okay, so the 22nd is, Fidel! Yes, we're gonna die! That's obviously marketing working there, I know what it is. So Fidel Bad News Bohill, tales of a white-collar boxer, undefeated white-collar boxer Fidel Bad News Bohill, inspires business owners with the lessons taken from the pugilistic arts. Oh, exciting. That's that bit, and then, so make sure you tune in then, and we have even more Facebook Live stuff coming up, just like me randomly doing lives wherever I'm going. Join 4N's network leader. We don't know what he does. Michael Nagel's back here on Friday at 4 PM for his weekly roundup. He'll have a mix of news, announcements, and waffling nonsense. I like that. It does say that here, that you won't want to miss. And there are also 4 Development Live video presentations, providing great tips on how to develop your networking skills. Interesting. And bad news in the house next week. We are all going to die. Sorry, I'm reading a comment. I know you're all thinking, what on earth is she talking about? So yes, develop your networking skills. Just talk to people. Talk to people more. Be you. Just be true. And people will like you. Some people won't like you. Some people don't like me. And that's okay. Because some people do. These are running fortnightly on Wednesday evenings from 8:30 to 9. So on Wednesday, the 19th of July. Michelle Ibbs! Yay! If you don't know, how do you expect me to know? Michelle tells you how to help your fellow members find the business you actually want. That's a really good point. I'll tell you what I want. I want people with money. I just want to help people find some property and then have the life of their dreams. Okay, so back to the script. If you would like the opportunity to present an episode of 4NTV Live with more than 24 minutes notice, 24 minutes, or 4 Development Live, then please message 4N on the 4Networking community page. They are free to take part and are open to all 4N Passport members. You must be a paid up member. And do you know how difficult it is for people to keep track of if you're still a member? Just stay a member. Don't ever leave. Slots are already booked up ahead. This is true. My next slot is in January. Go get your request in now. This 4NTV Live will continue to be available to view anytime. And I am going to come and check the comments and I will keep replying. So if you ask anything, just keep on asking and I can check back and I'll reply to you. Have a great weekend. I'm going away. I'm so excited. I haven't been away without my child ever because I've just been around him his whole life. So I'm going away this weekend down to Devon to somewhere called Branscombe, which apparently as a village is the longest village in the country. So that's where I'm going. Don't stalk me, please. Have a great weekend and feel free to continue networking right here on the 4N Facebook group. You know what this doesn't have? This doesn't have the, 4N's a place to come and feel loved and warmth, which I get in the meetings. I always feel like, oh, it's just so loving and warming. So, yes, stay here. It's 9 o'clock. I'm finishing on time. I haven't got a watch on, but it's been really amazing. So I'm so glad that Fidel finally made it. Hi there, Fidel. Thank you so much. That your words mean a lot to me. I am a bit flustered because I kind of woke up and I was like, I'm doing the foresight. So it's been really, really great to chat to some of you, to answer some questions, ask me some more. I will come back. Fidel, I'm going to create some documents to send to people about buying property. But it's been really nice to see you. I can see little icons of people that I know, and that's really lovely. Hi, send me some loves, send me some likes, say hi, and I'm going to go now and have a great weekend. Bye!